Well, speaking of artificial intelligence, Northwestern Mutual's 2024 Planning in Progress study out this morning speaks to nearly 5,000 people about their thoughts on using AI when it comes to planning their finances. So here to join us with more is Christian Mitchell, Executive Vice President and Chief Customer Officer at Northwestern Mutual. Christian, thank you for joining us. And what is the takeaway from this report?
Good morning. It's so great to be with you. We're really excited about this survey because to our knowledge, it's the first survey that's really looking at the intersection of people's attitudes relative to AI and their personal financial situation. So three big takeaways. First off, unsurprisingly, younger consumers are more excited about the impact that AI is going to have on the financial services client experience. Secondly, when it comes to those really high stakes conversations between a consumer and his or her financial advisor, those consumers trust the financial advisor more than the robot, so to speak. And the third takeaway, which I think is actually the most interesting, is we looked at attitudes towards AI outside of financial services and to the extent to which people would trust AI taking over various roles in society. And we found that 40% of consumers said that they would trust AI to take over completely for referees in sporting events, it kind of points to this nascent trust perhaps in AI, but also could be a commentary on the quality of officiating.
Wow, I had not seen that takeaway. Certainly calling balls and strikes, but I don't know if AI referees are capable beyond that, but that is certainly an interesting takeaway. Just curious to backtrack a little bit. What is Northwestern Mutual doing today in terms of artificial intelligence giving financial advice?
Yeah, we're really excited about AI. So historically, we've used AI to speed the underwriting process so we can get insurance production to consumers more readily. In terms of generative AI, we're using it today for knowledge management. All of the developers that are in my organization are using co-pilots to really aid their daily process. And as we look forward, we think there's incredible ways of making that financial process much richer, more present for consumers, in addition to making our financial advisors much more efficient. So we're very excited about Gen AI and are leading in considerably.
Can you quantify how much money and how much time this will make your organization and your clients?
We're right on the cusp of really being able to quantify it. It's certainly an emerging field, but as we look at coding, for example, we're seeing initially 3 to 5% productivity gains. We're seeing our coders rather have relatively high acceptance rates of the code that the AI is generating. So those aren't necessarily breakout levels of productivity, but for something that's been in implementation in practice in our organization for a relatively short period of time, we think it's a harbinger of really incredible productivity to come.
Is an AI financial advisor in the next 5 or 10 years?
I think the AI financial advisor of the next 10 years is actually going to be a co-pilot that sits alongside a human advisor. I think money is just so personal, it's so emotional that consumers are always going to want to connect with another human. But that said, you can have an AI that's making that human so much smarter, that's feeding them real-time insights in terms of what's going on in the markets, providing real-time insights in terms of how clients are spending their money or using their funds. So an AI advisor that completely supplants the human, I don't see that coming, but I think we're going to have human advisors that are just going to have superpowers via the Gen AI tools that will come to market.
How trustworthy is the AI in making these decisions?
It's very case dependent. Today, sometimes the AI is amazing, sometimes it's not great. So for all of our AI implementations, we make sure that there's a human in the mix. Someone that can look at that AI output and gut check it before it gets in front of an employee or a client or whoever in the organization. But I can see a time in the future where that AI does become much, much more reliable. But today, we really feel like you need a human somewhere in the mix to gut check.
Yeah, ChatGPT tells me just now 6 different ways that AI can supplement your financial advice. Very interesting. I'm curious where you think we are in the AI revolution. Are we in the first or second inning, or are we not even really in the game yet?
I think it's so early. If I had to put an inning, maybe the first. These tools are so new. I think it's interesting as we look at consumer sentiment. I'll pick on that idea of consumers trusting, 40% of consumers trusting AI to take over for referee or officiating. ChatGPT was only released a few years ago, and we're seeing this growing confidence. We're seeing various enterprises embrace this technology, but it's such early days as we really grapple with how it's going to transform, how we use these tools, how, to your question earlier, we make them more accurate. We're still very much in the Wild West period of this revolution.
Christian, can you give us a use case as to how one of your financial planners would turn to artificial intelligence to inform its decisions?
Yeah, one of the most exciting use cases we have is actually in our customer service operations. So the relationships we have with our clients literally span decades. The oldest policy that we have sold that's still on the books was sold in 1933, believe it or not. And so when consumers call in to ask a question about a policy that they bought 10 or 20 years ago, or maybe their grandparents even purchased, and they have a question about a feature, it can be very difficult for that customer service representative to answer it readily. So what we've done is we've taken that entire body of historical product knowledge, we've put it behind a ChatGPT interface. And so as clients are calling in, they have a question about their financial plan, they have a question about a feature on their policy. Because customer service representative is able to use that ChatGPT tool to give an incredibly quick and accurate answer, so that client doesn't have to go on hold, doesn't need a callback. That enhances the client experience tremendously, and we think really helps those clients make better decisions relative to their financial picture as well.
Because of that, is AI actively replacing jobs? Will it in the near future?
So I take a glass half full view on this. AI is going to change labor markets. It is going to change jobs. There are some positions that may be displaced, but my strong conviction is as those jobs are replaced, as we embrace this technology that's so nascent, it's going to create all kinds of new jobs. It's going to create more opportunities for higher level jobs, for more interesting jobs. And so what's incumbent upon companies like Northwestern Mutual and all of the large companies is to have an ability to retrain, redeploy our employees to those new higher level jobs. So I'm actually very bullish on the impact that generative AI is going to have on labor markets.